conference and the late start as well.
Well, do you know why we did the late start? A couple of reasons. Number one, to allow people to come, because I feel like if it's in your lunchtime and it's an hour long, it's a bit, right? Number two, so we didn't clash with the Chisora press conference. So we allowed time to get between the two. And yeah, that's it really. So very pleased with the presser. I think the card is fantastic from top to bottom. Of course, the main event is really good, but this has been the culmination of a lot of work in... People keep having a go at me, Andy, about Birmingham.
I don't know what.
How do I say it?
Birmingham as well, yeah. Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
But who would go Birmingham?
Birmingham. Yeah. It's no, but you're missing the G. It's not a silent G.
Yeah, but that's because...
It.
Yeah, but it's a silent G in Essex. Do you know what I mean? Okay. This is a culmination of a lot of hard work in Birmingham, which has seen us go from 3,000 to 7,000. The biggest fight night in Birmingham, probably since Amir Khan, I would say, that we did, 7, 8 years ago? So, and that's a culmination of fighters selling a lot of tickets, and also now the interest in a really big main event, which I think is a brilliant fight.
Who's got more pressure on the shoulders?
Sonny. Don't you think? I mean, I think that when you have been a world champion, when you boxed at that level, it's one thing losing to Jesse Rodriguez in a unification fight. It's another thing losing to really a prospect, albeit a world level prospect and someone that's world ranked. But I respect him for taking the fight, and they're very confident. But I think the pressure is on Sonny Edwards.
Eddie, obviously no appeal from UCAD with the Conor Benn situation. I guess sort of now looking to move forward and not expecting any appeal from WADA?
No, I wouldn't have thought so at all. I mean, I think that I would love to sit here now and really go on a rampant spiel about all the naysayers about Conor Benn. And they'll still be out there. Like, it doesn't matter if I still did it, but I think there's a couple of things that we should really make clear. Number one, he was not fined. He was not banned. And most importantly, because I hear this shit all the time, there has never been a ban. There has never been a backdated ban. He has not served a backdated ban. And another thing with all the shit you listen to, it had nothing to do with jurisdiction, right? So people out there who continuously, people, it's not even agenda. People are so stubborn that after he's won 3 cases, the most telling, the National Anti-Doping Panel, this is like the one that everybody told him to go through the process of. He won. He's fully cleared. I heard Simon Jordan say, yeah, but is he fully cleared? Yes. What do you mean, is he fully cleared? No ban, no fine, fully cleared. What? Oh yeah, but was it about jurisdiction? No, I'm telling you, no. So at what point do you have to turn around and go, fair play, you've done all that and you won? Because if it's a court of law and you go through 3 hearings and win every one of them, at what point do you have to turn around and go, well, maybe this guy's innocent? But I don't even want to go on about it. I just want to see him back in the ring. And, you know, for me, we're chomping at the bit for him to return. He took so much shit over 2 years. He could have taken the way out so easily and taken a little year ban or 6 months ban by really telling lies. And he said, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to run this. I'm going to fight it all the way. And he won. So give him the respect today, the fact that he won his case. And that is that.
What brought me on to, as you mentioned, the comments from Simon Jordan on TalkSport, where he sort of mentioned that he said he thought it was to do with jurisdiction, but in his eyes he said, you know, he doesn't believe Conor Benn would be cleared if it is to do with jurisdiction.
No. But again, he's just answered his own question. Like, the case, not Conor. By the way, Conor Benn doesn't make up the rules. The rules of the hearing are that it's confidential. But I will tell you that because I'm sick and tired of people just saying, oh yeah, it was because of this, it was because of that. It was a full hearing of all the facts. And they decided that he would not be punished and he would be fully cleared. And that's that. At what point do people have to go, oh, fair enough? But they won't, because some people have got an agenda, some people are stubborn, and some people are idiots. And the worst thing you can ever do in life is argue with an idiot, because it will drain the bollocks out of you. It's so time consuming and you'll never win, because they're not willing to have a conversation or not willing to absorb any facts.
Is there a right for people, sort of the public, to know like a reasoning behind sort of clearing?
I mean, I think you probably will in time, but when National Anti-Doping Panel and UCAD's rules are that it's confidential, what do you want him to do? Come out and break the confidentiality and put himself back in trouble? Like, what you need to know is, I've told you, not cleared on jurisdiction, cleared on facts. If that doesn't tell you enough about it, and I'm sure maybe in time it will come out. And, it's not like some massive conspiracy. In our opinion, he's always been innocent, and he was proved innocent. And now we move on.
Is a relationship with the board can be repaired, do you think?
I hope so. I believe every British fighter that fights in this country should be licensed by the British Boxing Board of Control. Now, I understand that sometimes the relationship and the ego of the fighter might say, I'm not working. And there's quite a few of them. Tyson Fury is the biggest example. And maybe Conor Benn remains an international fighter and, does it that way. Personally, I would always like a British fighter to be licensed by the British Boxing Board of Control. But there's a lot of history.
Eddie, the Mail Sport reported that a 48-year-old Klitschko wanted to come back and fight Daniel Dubois. Could you shed any light on this, if it's true?
Yeah, it's very strange. I mean, look, I had dinner with Vladimir and His Excellency and Frank Warren and a while back, I think around AJ Dubois. And he still looks sensational, Vladimir. You can still tell he wants to fight, but, Father Time is something you can't overcome. And, his last fight was against Anthony Joshua in, 2016? It's coming up for 9 years next year. So I don't think it's a good idea, especially to fight a young bull like Daniel Dubois. But, Vladimir's Vladimir, and he's got the right to look at wherever his heart takes him.
Did you see Carl Froch's little rant on Jake Paul?
Yeah, I think Carl's coming on Saturday on something. I think he just messaged me actually asking for some tickets. So I've got good prices for him. They're $350, $400, and he's always welcome at our shows. And I think that the one thing I'll say is, I do think, obviously I think Carl Froch beats Jake Paul. But I will say that when you've been out of the ring for a long time, I don't think it's just as easy as just putting the gloves on and going back and having the same rhythm and timing.
You don't think he knocked him out around him?
No, but I think he beats him. But Jake Paul's a strong boy. And he has been training for, 3 years now in boxing. I think he's improved a lot. I still don't think he's anywhere near world level, never will be. But I don't think it's easy for these guys like Carl and Tony just to go back in and be the same fighter that they were 5 or 6 years ago,
We'd love to see it.
Of course, yeah, so would I.
Do you think that there were more people at the Jake Paul Tyson Fury fight or Carl Froch with the Groves fight?
It was definitely Carl Froch against Grove. It was close. I think it was about 10,000 more. But
2019.
it was 80,000, yeah. It was 80,000, and then when we did Klitschko, that was 90. And he weren't very happy about that. And then when we did Dubois, that was closer to 100. So Carl don't hold the record anymore, but he holds the memories.
Is Virgil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis happening? Maybe Feb 22nd?
Maybe. It's we have been in discussions. Obviously, Boots would rather fight at 147, but Virgil won't fight there. He's moved to 154. I think there will be an announcement very soon about February 22nd. The problem is it's Thanksgiving today, which is not easy. It's like me trying to negotiate a deal with a UK fighter on Christmas Day. But we like the fight, but we also Boots really has to make the decision. Do you get rid of the belt or do you move? And I don't know which way it's going to go.
And last one from me, Bivol Batarbiev. If that's on the undercard and in the co-main event as suggested, why do you think it is the co-main event and not the main event? I'm not sure
it'll be on the undercard. I don't know. But for me, Bivol Batarbiev 2 is the main
one. Parker?
In my personal opinion, yes.
Eddie, just the latest on Anthony Joshua. I know you've done an interview saying that possibly out in May, he's possibly going to be fighting Fury or Dubois. Are you leaving that a little bit too late for Anthony Joshua to be out of the ring for such a lengthy time?
No, because he had if you look at it, he fought Jermaine Franklin, Robert Helenius, Otto Warlin and Francis Ngannou, all from the period of April to March. So in 8 months he had 4 fights. And then he fought Dubois as well, 4 months later. So he's been super active. And obviously when you get beat like that, you do need a little bit more time. He'll be ready to resume his camp in January. So he'll be good to fight from April. But I do expect it to be kind of May, June. Obviously, if he fights Fury, you're going to need that space between the Usyk fight. And Dubois is fighting on February 22nd. So realistically, May or June is probably more likely.
With AJ, is he getting to that part of his career where it's only certain fights that are going to wake him up and get him up?
AJ would continue to fight forever. He loves it. But I think the 2 fights out there for him are the rematch with Dubois and the Tyson Fury fight. And for me, I don't see the appeal of any other fight, if I'm honest.
So you won't think him a warm-up fight before getting
No,
back
straight
into
in,
it?
straight in.
Yeah?
There's no warm-up fights needed, like not at this stage in the career.
Eddie, it is Thursday, which means Clapback Thursday is tonight. Are you looking forward to that one?
I actually haven't been mentioned for a couple of weeks. I'm getting a bit worried. Who can he talk about tonight? He might swerve it tonight. Every now and again he goes, it's a quiet week for boxing, so I'll swerve it. But yeah, hopefully I'll get a mention. It's been a while.
What's the latest on Shakur versus Schofield, and is that going to land on February 22nd?
Possibly. We agreed to fight Zepeda. So did Golden Boy, apparently, but apparently he's injured after a very lacklustre performance. Schofield is a name that's in the hat. We've been talking to Golden Boy. We've made them an offer, and we're trying to tie that up with his excellency now. I think he's a really good fighter. I mean, you know, two very good undefeated American fighters. A lot of chat, a lot of back and forth in that fight. So again, it's Thanksgiving today, which is difficult to do business on, but we'll do our best tonight and see where it gets to.
I've heard some rumours about Liam Smith boxing Michael Zarafa. Just wondered if you could shed any light to that.
Not true. We spoke about it, but I don't believe it'll happen though.
What can we expect for Liam Smith's fight if he does box with Matchroom?
I think for Liam, it really comes down to the hunger, if I'm honest. Like, I think you can talk about this fight and that fight, and I love Liam. I think he's a great fighter. It's how much you want it, because I want to work with fighters that really want and have aspirations to go on a run and be in big fights and win championships. I know there's a lot of fighters that just look at the market and go, there's a nice few quid in it at the moment. I think I'll stick around. I'm not saying that's Liam, but that's not really, I've got to tell you, I just said in an interview over there, my mood is dictated by the show, right? So when we've got a good show, I'm in a really good mood and I'm really happy. And I'll stand and talk to you boys for longer because I'm buzzing. Sometimes when you haven't got a good fight or your heart's not in a fight, I'm still there, and you probably might not notice it because I'm that fucking good at what I do. But like, this show is a good example of a show that I'm really looking forward to. Really actually looking forward to sitting down and watching the whole card. So moving forward, I don't want any shit cards. I don't want any average fights. And I know you've got to bring fighters through at the right speed, but you know, I want fighters that are just fucking there to fight and just desperate to win legacy, championships, everything. So I don't know where I was going with that, but that's how I feel anyway.
Eddie, in a year where we've seen a lot of criticism on the British and in terms of British boxing, how important is it to have fight weeks like this?
Yeah, because you saw like yesterday at the ball ring and today, and you'll see it at the weigh-in tomorrow, and you'll see on Saturday night. That's what we need. Like, I'm not saying this is AJ Fury, but it's a really, really good domestic fight with a great undercard, and you see the response. You know, when you put on a good show, you do great ticket sales, you get media interest, you get a buzz, you get people turning up to the public events. So it's really important to make these kind of fights.
We've seen reports of Callum Smith versus Joshua Buatsi in future. I know all attention on this weekend and getting through this, run out.
Yeah.
But all attention on February, is it Joshua Buatsi we can see for Callum Smith?
No, not necessarily. I mean, that fight's not done, but obviously it's a fight that, you know, when you look at the options for Callum Smith, Yard, obviously he's fought better Biev. If Bivol can win the rematch, you know, maybe there's a fight there. But Buatsi is a fight that makes sense. I mean, it's another brilliant all-British fight. Two fantastic fighters. Why not? You know, but no, not done yet. And obviously he's got to get through Saturday night.
Just on
Oh, where are you going?
We've seen that Conor Benn has been cleared of all wrongdoing.
I didn't know. I didn't see it.
Well, believe it or not, it has happened. The day has finally come. I spoke to Jamie Moore the other day at the media lunch, and he said Conor Benn should look at choosing financial security and look for a fight with Chris Eubank Jr. rather than pushing for the Barrios fight. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, I think I get it. You know, and I don't think there's a right or wrong decision. I love gambling in a smaller money fight for the world title. I mean, I think Conor Benn can beat Barrios. If he does, he's a WBC welterweight world champion, and he makes a lot more money in that Eubank fight or another fight than he would do now. But there is a chance in one fight to completely secure your financial legacy forever, and that is obviously incredibly tempting.
Just one last one from me. A fighter that was on an incredible run in 2022 and 23, and Lee Wood. It's been a very quiet year for him. I know he's not with Matchroom at the moment, but have you had any conversations with Lee about getting him back in the ring?
Yeah, we have, and I'd like to make it happen. Watch this space.
Cheers, Eddie.
Cheers, boys.